Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name's Tanya and I have Trista here with me today.
Hey everyone!
We both work at Mountain Credit Union and we will be your host for our very first Snack Bowl podcast, where we want to know what's eating at you. So you might be wondering, what's the snack bowl? So in our office, we actually have a little snack bowl out in the lobby. It's like a water cooler where people gather and we just chat sometimes. People drop in a variety of things and we usually end up standing around talking sometimes. So one day, someone had brought in some, we'll call them unique snacks. And no one had seen them before. And so we were really wondering, we were a little cautious when walking by those. Do you remember that day, Trista?
I do remember that day. I think everyone walked by them multiple times.
Mm-hmm. So finally, I do think that somebody said, what are they? And so it kind of brought everybody out of their office and we were talking. We were going back and forth about it for a little while, and Asher finally said, this sounds like a podcast. And we joked about that for a minute. And he said, this is funny. I would subscribe and listen. So that's when we were just talking about it and thinking, maybe we could do this, since we're credit union people and, we, kind of live by the philosophy of people helping people. We talked about how this could, really kind of benefit members of Mountain Credit Union and maybe, people in our community. And so we kept talking about it and just started thinking, we might be able to pull this off. And here we are.
Here we go.
Here we are. So just a little bit about myself. I've worked at Mountain Credit Union since 1999. That's a very long time. I'll let everyone else do the math. I was hired as head teller, and shortly after that I moved into doing consumer loans. I've been a branch manager, a regional manager. I managed 4 offices, and now I'm vice president of lending and branch administration. So there isn't much that I haven't done. Before we jump over to Trista and what her experience brings to the table, I thought it might be helpful for everyone to know that Mountain Credit Union has a story too, and that's kind of our purpose. We want to share some of the stories and the experiences that other maybe credit union members have had and help everyone. So Mountain Credit Union has been in Western North Carolina since 1963, and this year we're celebrating our 60th year anniversary. So that's a pretty big milestone for us, and we're really excited about that. Trista, what about you?
So I have been in the financial industry for around 10 years. I actually started in a bank, then quickly came to a credit union. So maybe one day we can discuss the difference between the two.
That would be good.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move, and I haven't looked back since. I started as a teller at the bank and then came to a credit union as a teller also. I have worked in a call center taking member calls. I've worked as a loan officer and most recently moved to the back office as an administrative assistant and moved into the payments coordinator position in the accounting department. So I have a lot of experience with the front and back end of a credit union. So that does it for me.
Yeah, and I guess there's a lot of difference between the front and the back office. You probably see a lot of things that it impacts, the members across the whole credit union versus just like one branch. So you see a lot more things.
Yes, for sure. It's definitely different not being member facing, but I think I like it.
Well, you've been really good at it. So, well, for our first episode, we thought we would just keep it light, and we thought we would just do some 60-second news, something that was kind of related to maybe the credit union industry or finance. So, Trista, do you have some 60-second news for us?
Yes. So last week, following massive layoffs from companies Google, Microsoft, and other tech giants, the January jobs report took an unexpected turn when the number of jobs doubled expectations of economists. While this job report may make an argument for no looming recession, according to some analysts, the Federal Reserve does not like to see this much job growth. A strong labor market signals to the Federal Reserve that it can raise rates even more with less risk of damaging the economy. While the Federal Reserve rates do not directly affect mortgage interest rates, the mortgage market attempts to Interpret actions the Fed takes to determine how much to pay for your home loan.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have seen such a shift, a swing in rates. Like last year in January of 2022, we were still doing mortgage loans at like 3.25%.
Yeah.
And over the course of 9 months, it went way up to 7%. So, it's crazy the swing that we've seen in mortgage rates from like January of 22 to where we are now, and actually they've started to come back down a little bit.
That's good news. But we'll see where it goes from
Right.
here. So, to increase your chances of getting approved for a mortgage in this economy, keep your monthly debt expenses to a minimum. Mortgage companies compare your monthly debt to your gross income to determine an approval amount. Check your credit score. By checking your credit score and your payment history, it gives you a chance to fix any errors that may be lowering your score. Checking your credit score can also give you an idea as a borrower of what programs you may qualify for. The last thing would be to increase your credit score. A higher credit score increases your mortgage options to find one that best fits your needs. Work on paying down debt and keeping credit card balances low to get a better interest rate to save you money. Zero down programs with no private mortgage insurance are available to get you in a home for less with a correct credit score. So I think that people really don't focus on their credit score much. They just go through life and then they want to get a mortgage and then it hits them that they need a credit score or what has been affecting their credit. So I think that would be a good topic to talk about, is how to manage your credit score and keep track of that.
Yeah, because we actually had members that were getting pre-qualified for a mortgage loan when they were trying to search for a house, and they would come in and the rates were much lower, and the payment, they could actually qualify for more house, which means the price was more. They could buy more house for that because the interest rate was lower. And so when those rates started going up, it really started, if they were looking in the same price range, with the rates going up, their payment was increasing. So yeah, that meant that they were not able to qualify because their debt to income was pushing, the limit there, and they weren't able to qualify. So then they weren't happy about that because they had to settle for a smaller house, a lower loan amount.
Yeah.
So all that is really, really important, because your credit score, you use it for so many things in life.
So many things. It affects so much. Even just to go buy a car.
It does, yeah. We actually have financial counselors in each of our offices that, help members to try to repair your credit. You can sit down with them and, they can help give you some guidance on what you might need to work on. We have a really great mortgage department that will get you through that pre-approval process. And so sitting down with somebody just to try to plan, you might not be ready now, but you might be in a year, and we have no idea what those rates are going to be in a year. So
yeah, I would say if you think you want to buy a house, I think starting early, even just sitting down with a financial counselor to see where you're at, where your credit score's at, maybe what you need to do to get where you want to be, to maybe fulfill that dream of buying a house.
Yeah.
Even working through the economy and all the ups and downs that come with that.
Yep. Well, so we wanted to keep it light today, and just wanted to kind of keep this very relaxed and informal, and just be able to open basically the floor to any sort of suggestions that you all might want to get some clarification on. I guess in the future we might have like guests on the show, somebody that can share different experiences. Reading this first little 60-second snippet, I was thinking it would have been good to maybe have our CFO on the podcast. He could talk all day long about numbers.
For sure.
But yeah, we might have some employees on and share their experiences, because it's really, what we've learned through working in the credit union is really, it should be beneficial to people who haven't, had all these experiences.
I think it definitely, our experience behind closed doors, I guess you could say, could really help our members and other people in the community that don't know much about like things like credit score and maybe the process of even buying a auto loan or the personal loans that we offer, just the different options that we have along with our like checking accounts and the perks that come along with those things. So I think this is a great platform for us to present that and educate our community on what a credit union does and the different things that we do offer.
This episode is sponsored by Mountain Credit Union, offering mortgages with $0 down to get you approved for the home that you've been looking for. Do not worry about PMI. Use that money to increase your approval amount to find the home of your dreams. Stop by your local MCU branch and ask about our $0 down mortgage that gets you into a home for less. Ask about getting pre-approved today.
If you've got something that's eating at you that you want to discuss around the snack bowl, please let us know. You can stay up to date with anything Mountain Credit Union related on Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to send us questions or comments on these platforms, and it could be featured on our next podcast. We couldn't produce this without the help of Josh, our content manager, Asher, our social media manager, and Nick, our executive producer. This concludes our first podcast. We hope you have a great week. Thanks for snacking with us.